Kevin here with Notes on Iowa, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about part one, day 3 of my trek across Iowa in the footsteps of the Iowa Dragoons of 1835. And on part one, day 3, I went from Bentonsport up through Keosauqua and specifically Lacey-Keosauqua State Park, and then on along the river up to Leando, Douds. So come along with me here as we take a look at some of the things I saw, some of the history, and just a few other things related to part 1, day 3. So part 1, day 3 started at Bentonsport, and you can take a look at the article or the video for part 1, day 2 for some stuff about Bentonsport, but leaving a pretty uneventful stretch between Bentonsport and Keosauqua. But arriving in Keosauqua, you see the beautiful Hotel Manning, which is a steamboat Gothic style hotel that welcomes visitors from the South Bank, crossing the bridge into Keosauqua. Just a lovely little town, lots of businesses there, the largest village of Van Buren County, and just a really rich past in Keosauqua. One of the things I found really interesting there is that that's where we see the Army Corps of Engineers and the Geological Service for the United States kind of monitoring the Des Moines River and its flood stage. There's some more about that in today's article if you hop on over on the website. On my walk, I didn't cross over into Keosauqua. I went back a little bit later in the day, but I actually just crossed into Lacey-Keosauqua State Park, the second oldest state park in the state. And within the park, as soon as I got there, it started raining a little bit harder, common theme over the first few days, and boy was it slippery there in the park. One of the things, I've been walking on gravel roads a lot, and you get into the parks, and sometimes especially with the rains, it can be a little bit worse terrain, but a beautiful park, well maintained. The Civilian Conservation Corps did all sorts of work in the park, as well as the Works Progress Administration and the National Park Service during the 1830s in particular. I mean, you can see that legacy in the trails that go through the park, some of the iconic stone bridges the park's known for, and just as well as the general maintenance and kind of layout of the park. I did see some different wildlife in the park, particularly deer, but I also saw a young fox that was kind of crossing the road in there, and got a quick picture of him, although he darted into the underbrush pretty quickly, trying to get away from me on kind of his own way through the park. Saw a variety of wildflowers and some of the early spring vegetation coming in Iowa on my way across, and I also found some interesting kind of stone outcroppings. One of them used as a bridge on the river trail throughout the park, which is just a beautiful little trail that winds its way on the south bank of the Des Moines River. There are several bridges of different types, some with some of those stone remnants of the CCC, and eventually you arrive at the Eli Ford Mormon crossing. Keosauqua is a place that's kind of been a crossing point for a variety of people. You think about Brigham Young with the Saints as they made their way across Iowa, crossed at the Eli Ford crossing. Also, Keosauqua, an important stop on the Underground Railroad for people fleeing enslavement on their way north. And then also, obviously, the Dragoons passed through, both on their way north. They were a little bit further north on their outward journey from Fort Des Moines. But on their way back, they passed right along on the south bank of the Des Moines River, so they would have been right on that river trail in Lacey-Keosauqua State Park, or that general area. As I continued through the park, one of the things that stood out to me were several unmarked quote-unquote Indian mounds, signs back to our woodland cultures here in the deep past of Iowa, in the prehistoric past. These aren't marked within the park, and please, if you go there, don't disturb these mounds. They're an important testament to our past and sacred sites to people. Passing out of the park, the rest of the day was pretty uneventful. I went through the Czech-West Wildlife Area, which is a popular hunting spot within Van Buren County, but just a lot of gravel road walking as had been there. I did see an ingenious kind of houseboat that was up before eventually making it to Douds, Leando, where I closed the day at the site of their fair day. Douds, Leando, one town today, two townships that were kind of small river towns or villages not even listed in the census today as towns, but the site of the hometown of the Dairy Queen founder. So just a little bit about part 1, day 3. There's some more stuff over on the website or on the social media pages about this, and you can take a look into some of these kind of topics for yourself if you're interested. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel encouraged to reach out if you have different things you want to talk about related to the project or just related to Iowa history. People make this project a little bit better every single day, and so when you reach out, I'm able to connect and maybe find out some different things that I don't know about. So I appreciate you taking the time to check out the project, and we'll be back with the next video on part 1, day 4. Thanks for watching.